now listening to the BroCast.
All systems go.
5, 4, 3, 2. Def Con 1.
What's up, guys? My name's Woody, and today we're doing the BroCast episode 8. Today I got Jake, and that's it.
Holy shit, it's episode 8 already?
Yeah, dude, it's episode 8. I'm hoping Manny can be back at least by 10.
He probably will.
2 more weeks, yeah.
Probably.
Who knows? That guy, I don't know. So, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I forgot
By the way, advertisement for episode 10. If Manny gets back, he'll teach us how to smuggle drugs across the border. Keep in mind. Mark it on your calendars, people. All right, so first note on the business is going to be the mod of the week.
Yep.
And we've already told each other what we're going to do, but you guys don't know, so we're going to go on a don't know basis. So just wrap it up in like about 2 minutes about your mod, and we'll just tell them what it is and what it's about. Like act like they don't know what it is. So I'll let you go first, Jay.
All right. Well, I've decided that my choice for this week is Age of Chivalry, which it's a source mod. It's the original. They made Age of Chivalry, the team that made it, and then because it was so awesome, they they went on to make Chivalry Medieval Warfare, which is a standalone game. But the cool thing about Age of Chivalry is because everything is made pretty much from scratch on the source engine. You don't have to have Half-Life 2 or Counter-Strike or anything like that. So you can just download it on Steam, and Steam should automatically download the source base engine for the mod to run off of, and then you can play it.
One sec. Is it the same mod as is it the same engine as Hidden runs on, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So that's why we already had it then. Okay. All right, continue.
But yeah, I think it's pretty good. There's a lot of maps because it came out a few years ago. I'm not sure the exact date that it was released. But if you don't have the money for Age of Chivalry, or you just don't have the system for it, or whatever your situation might be, I think Age of Chivalry is an excellent alternative. We've been playing it for a week or so,
at least a week and a half.
It's so much fun. You just jump into a server if you can find one with good enough connection, and run around with a great sword and cut people's heads off. That's
the learning curve too. It's pretty simple learning curve. When I first started, I just got owned every chance I got, and then yesterday I went like 43 and something.
43 and like 10. You kicked the shit out of the other team.
So you can learn how to play.
Yeah, it just takes, just play it a little bit.
Basically, all you got to do is you got to be good with a mouse and a keyboard, and you can be good at that game.
Yeah.
So
I'd say that anyone who can play, Counter-Strike or Call of Duty on PC will do just fine in this. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's a little bit different though, because when I first started playing it, I've never actually played, you've played Skyrim at least. I've never played a PC sword game.
Yeah.
I've played Fallout on PC before with a sword once, but nothing, else like that. So
that's a bit different though, because that game
can't block, and
that game's
other people
based
have
mostly on guns. It's not so much.
Which that's not bad. That's what it's supposed to be based off of. But Age of Chivalry, it's a good game. It's a good breath of fresh air. From,
it's a little bit rough if you get to
a
a server with 100+ ping. People with better connection than you will be able to hit you from fucking 2 miles away with a little one-handed short sword, and it's kind of retarded like that. But I said, if you can get a good server with good connection, it's a lot of fun.
Before we move on, I just want to talk about the new Chivalry. I actually got it because I got money. It's To be honest, I haven't played it enough to know, but in my personal opinion, I do actually like Age of Chivalry better. The only reason that we would probably play Chivalry if it ever goes on sale is probably because it actually has servers. Unlike Age of Chivalry, which is its only downturn, is it only has 4 servers up at one time if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So
occasionally people will go on there and they'll make their own servers in America, but most of the ones that are up are in Germany or England.
that may be also because we play at like midnight, but
That's true.
But
that server we were on the other day, though, I think I'm pretty
probably
sure
is American
SWAT
because
Master was hosting that one, but it was an American server based on the ping, and it was good. It was good connection. Might have been Canadian. You never know.
Maybe.
Ping between the U.S. and Canada is never more than 100. So
yeah, Chivalry's good, but it added a whole bunch of stuff, and it's a lot more complex than Age of Chivalry, and I think that's why I don't like it as much, is because you can't just block. Because someone can kick down your block. If you're blocking, they can kick you, and then your block goes away, and then you're unprotected, and they can slash you if they want for, as long as the time as it takes you to recover from that kick, depending on what class you're at and what you were using at the time that you got kicked. Also, it got rid of a whole bunch of... It added a create class system, which I think that's actually kind of cool, but, it's like a really low create class system. Like, there's not that actually much stuff you can do for it.
Well, you were saying they got rid of the Crusader class, which makes
they didn't get rid of the Crusader class. They kept the longsword. You're just a knight. You're just called a knight. You're not called a Crusader.
Well, see, that's dumb as hell. I love the name Crusader. That's the only reason I use that class. It's just because it's a cool name, and I get to run around with a massive fucking sword and cut people's heads off. I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
No, but everyone wants to do that. Yeah. So
it's the American dream.
It's actually kind of it's a fun game, but for now, until everybody else gets Chivalry, I think Age of Chivalry will do just fine. I may play it a few times to get used to it, but also the controls are a bunch different. Your block is actually your right mouse button, so every time I try to block somebody, I hit the mouse wheel, which is to up down, slash, and
right.
That messes me up a lot.
It sounds like they changed the control system to be more like how the controls are in Skyrim, because I know, right mouse is to block, and then left mouse is to slash, and that's really all there is in Skyrim.
Yeah.
But I imagine people would have complained with the controls that are in Age of Chivalry.
I'm probably going to have to change them to the controls that are in Age of Chivalry.
Oh, they're so much better, though.
They're so much better.
They're so much better.
For some reason, I wouldn't think it, but for some reason, the middle mouse button just works for blocking.
Yeah.
I don't know why, it just does. It just works. You wouldn't think that...
Well, the way that the blocking is, I mean, you just press the button or you scroll down and it does it real fast. It's like a split-second block, which means that, you have to time it properly or you're going to get your head hacked off. I think mouse wheel down, just scrolling down real quickly like that, I think that's real convenient for what it is.
What another thing? They also got rid of throwing knives, or you have to unlock them.
Oh, right.
So you don't... I mean, that's kind of nice. They also added different things. So, like I was complaining last night, a small dagger cannot block a long sword.
You try and block some guy who's swinging a big fucking long sword at you, it's gonna fucking smash the dagger out of your hands and cut your arm off.
So
all that's gonna happen.
Also, another cool thing they added that I don't see myself using because it was too complicated, but you can actually fake the guy out. Like, you can fake you, starting an attack, and then they'll block, and then they'll be unblocked for you to attack again. But it just takes way too much of stigma, and I don't see it as being useful.
All right. Well, what's your mod of the week?
So that's Jake's. My mod of the week, I've decided to do Dynamic Zombie Sandbox, and it's a mod for Arma 2, in which you go in there, you drop down there with no guns, no nothing, and there's random guns on the ground in front of you in different city and towns and cars, and pretty much you don't have anything, but everything you would need is scattered around the map in some way, shape, or form, and there just happens to be zombies there, obviously, because of the name.
You know, the thing that I like about Dynamic Zombie Sandbox, it's not like DayZ, where
No.
all that you can do in DayZ is try and avoid zombies and players, because players shoot you instantly no matter what, and it's on a big public server, and it's really hard to host your own server where you don't have to worry about other people. DZS is, you know, it comes as a mission file, so you pretty much just put it in your mission folder, and you load it up on your local server, like what I do, and you can do whatever the hell you want. You know, you can play on any maps. You can,
custom maps, which is really nice.
You can play against zombies. You can make the focus surviving the zombie attacks, or, you know.
I think that's my favorite part. You can make the focus surviving zombie attacks, or you can get rid of zombies completely, which doesn't work very often. But you can get zombies completely, and then you can you can do TVT, which is what we usually do. We've been doing that for.
Well, I think I like that adds a lot of random factors to team versus team play, and it's real good on a map like, you know, Jade Groove is the one that we play most of the time, because it's a real small map, so, you know, you don't just get spawned in a specific area with a specific set of guns that you can choose from, and then you just go in and try and find the other people. You get spawned wherever the hell it decides to spawn you, and, you know, what weapons you get to use.
And then it's all luck at what rate of what, because you can go probably, you know, 15 minutes with only finding a pistol, or you can go 2 seconds and find an AK with a scope and a silencer on it. So, you know, it's and then you can also find a helicopter in that same 15 seconds.
You know, it's nice though, because it forces you to use a lot of weapons that you wouldn't use otherwise, or vehicles or things like that. And I like that.
I think you know, I mean, I don't think we would have ever used the ACRs that we just got if we didn't have, and that they're so good, you know.
Yeah.
It forced us to use them, and I think that's for the better, you know. But
well, you know, a lot of times too, especially when you're doing player versus player, team versus team kind of games with this this mod, it you know, your focus goes from finding whatever gun looks cool or whatever gun you like to use to a gun with a good scope, or, you know, an infrared or a silencer or whatever, so that you get an advantage over your enemy.
And sometimes it does work out like that, where there's 2 guns laying on the ground. There's one that you really do like, but it has nothing on it, and there's one that you need, which has a scope and everything you need on it, but you don't like the gun. So it really does make you want to know which one you can get, because you know, you got the one you have to have, but then you also got the one that has high damage and the one you want, but you can't hit broadside the barn with it. So
I think it's nice though to have that. You know, it forces you to use, like I said, it forces you to use guns that you wouldn't use otherwise. Because, you know, our group, we're always getting new weapon mods or vehicle mods or whatever to add new guns to the game, so there's more to play around with. But half the time we don't play with the guns that we get because, you know, I don't think it looks all that cool, or I don't think I need this giant scope for a close quarters battle against AI. So, you know, DZS, you know, you find what you can and you use it, and it forces you to try new things. It forces the variety on you. I think that's pretty cool. Good opportunity to try new weapons and things. It's very cool.
And it's kept Arma nice and fresh for a very long time. I mean,
it's just look at fucking Jade Groove, right? It's just another map, but it works really well in DZS.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun to play, so we're playing it all the time.
I think we put more hours on Jade Groove than we put on any other map. I mean, it's just that nice of a map that, and I don't think we would have played this map that much if it wasn't for DZS either. So, and
you know, that could be the same for any map, just whatever your preferences and how a map plays. You know, you can. It's up to you. It's whatever you want to try. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's my mod for the week, and completely 2 different mods, but I think that I don't know. I don't think one's better than the other one. What do you think?
I don't either. You know, they're both 2 totally different games. You know, Chivalry, you go around with a sword and cut the shit out of people, and DZS, you shoot your friends or you shoot zombies. It's up to you. So, you know, it's whatever. I like that. We're so lucky, you know, with modern games that you can say, you know what, I feel like playing this game where I get to run around with a sword, or this game where I get to fly a helicopter into a zombie horde. It's nice to be able to have that variety and that choice of what you want to play compared to
compared to a stoned out plumber that's trying to find a princess. It's just
yeah or
so,
a fucking couple of ping pong players. God damn it! But it's nice. It's good to have those two games too. I think they're both fantastic, and it comes down to whatever you want to play at the moment.
So yeah, I guess we're gonna have 2 mods of the week this week. So they'll both be down in the description below if you want to check
one
either
other
of them out.
important thing regarding DZS, you can get it for Arma 2 or Arma 3 beta. It's
that's
available
right, yes.
for both.
So yeah,
if you're a super genius like me, you can port whatever you got from Arma 2 into Arma 3, so you'll have extra weapons and vehicles if you want to try it out on Arma 3 instead.
That's one more thing I like about DZS is you can, no matter what guns you have, it uses everything. It's not just base guns.
Yeah,
it uses everything you have.
I would have tried out that Wasteland mod because Viper's always telling me that it's really good and that we should try it out, but it only uses base game guns, and to me that's not enough variety.
Well, isn't it basically the same thing, other without zombies? I mean,
it's
the same
more
thing.
oriented on player versus
bases, right? It's more oriented on making bases out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I think that sounds cool. It's just it doesn't use all the different mods. It just uses whatever's in the game, and I don't like that so much.
Not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, I prefer to. Have
mods are good.
It's gotten to the point too. We have so many fucking weapon mods that
Dude, you're up to like 50 some gigs in your mod folder.
Yeah. Well, remember there was a while when we were using the M4 M16s and the M416s and the what was it the goddamn Mark 18s too. And those were like the main ones, and then we have the AK pack and the AKs from the base game, but. Half the guns actually probably more like 80% of the weapons that you would find would use Stanags, and so finding Stanags was always the most important thing. But now we've got all these extra AK packs and things. The Villa's Eastern Weapons pack, which is actually a pretty good mod. But that adds, now we're finding all kinds of different stuff, so you can find just about any kind of magazine, and you're lucky if you get something good.
Yeah.
But it makes it really tough.
I think we've got to the point where there's so much. I mean, I know we're gonna download more, but I don't think there's any more.
We've got
weapon mods that we really need, but we're of course going to have
out
more
there that look kind of neat. But we've got all the best ones, I think. And
I think we're pretty well off. Yeah,
yeah, we've got enough variety at this point. All we need now is more cars. We got plenty of choppers too. Although, for whatever fucking reason, it just decides to always spawn the Mi-8, I swear to God. Like, 90% of the time we get an Mi-8 or
we got a...
shitty, some crappy chopper that is...
We got one of the Galil one time, right? Didn't we?
Yeah, that was fun, actually. I flew that thing around a little bit. It'd be nice to get I got an Mi-26 once, and that surprised me, because I didn't think that thing would show up in the list. Because it's under a separate folder, but it's fucking enormous. That thing is huge. But I like that. Like with the weapons, it spawns just about anything you've got.
I wish it would spawn planes.
Yeah.
I mean, that would kind of be a little. I mean, there's not very many of them in the game, but if you could spawn in, like, especially our few mod, flying a B-17 around, that'd be sweet. Have an ammo truck.
There's
and just
two ways that you could look at this. I mean. I imagine half the people would think, that would be overpowered if you're doing team versus team, because all of a sudden one team has an A-10 they can call in and just bomb the shit out of stuff.
Well, you got to think of that. That's going to take somebody off the battlefield because they've got to be flying.
Yeah.
We've only got 2 versus 2 usually, and if that one guy on the ground gets spotted, then unless you're Viper, you have no clue where anybody's at anymore. So.
I feel so bad for Viper. I mean, he hacked. He called this upon himself. Really, I mean, he was hacking a lot, and he would use hacks to give his team an advantage over the other. He'd use one that would tell you exactly where the other guys are and bomb the shit out of our base because he knew where we were. He'd make himself invincible and then run in and kill everyone. So, on one hand,
he's a good kid. It's just the temptation's there, and I think that he just needs to get him off the computer. So,
yeah. I don't mind it if we're playing against zombies. I don't mind them spawning stuff in so we can build a base and get them the fuck out of the way. But when it comes to player versus player, it's unfair and it frustrates me sometimes. But he's stopped.
Mostly.
He's been real good about that recently. I've had to chew him out a number of times, but
I think we got him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's our timer. I can't believe we actually spent the whole time talking about the mods. I figured we'd get on to something else.
Yeah, I know. I just, yeah. So, well, that was an interesting one. We actually talked for the entire time instead of doing questions. I didn't even pull up any questions because I'm like, well, that's kind of a stupid idea anyway. So we pretty much drained the internet dry of all its random questions we can find. So.
You go to look up random questions you can ask someone in a Q&A, and half of it's like, are you a faggot? And stuff like that. So it's really hard to find good, interesting questions. But you're right. I think we did actually dry up everything that was there.
Yeah. It's a deserted wasteland now.
Yeah.
Speaking of deserted wasteland, Fallout, both of them for $10. It's a great deal.
Holy shit. I kind of want to try and get Skyrim,
or
it's like $30 right now for the Legendary Edition or whatever it's called.
I'm telling you, I would get it, but there's gigantic spiders, and that's just not going to work for me.
You go into their little dens and lairs where all the spiders are, and there's fucking spider webs everywhere. There's one dungeon in particular. You walk into the room, and you kill a couple of the little ones, and then this fucking giant one, I swear to God, it's the size of a bus. It just comes down off the ceiling and attacks you. I fucking shit my pants. I was like, holy fuck, where did he come from?
No, seriously, I'm telling you, if I played that game and that happened to me, my keyboard would be going through the monitor, which is why I don't buy it. See, Fallout has insects, and, I pretty much have a phobia of any insect.
I don't mind the red scorpions or the bloatflies.
God,
they're just
it's just the look of insect. I can, I lift my feet off the ground whenever I try to fight one in Fallout, but I can just get past it because Fallout is such a great game. I can get past it. So
I think if we were all to get the Skyrim multiplayer mod and play that together, it would probably be all right. And I'm thinking I might try and get Skyrim on Steam so that we can do that because it does look like a lot of fun.
I'll be sitting outside as you kill all them, so don't worry.
I've gotten, Skyrim's an okay game for a while. Like, you can get maybe 10 hours down, and then it just gets kind of dry. But I've got a whole bunch of mods that I've installed, little things that add new weapons and armors and things, and it makes it so much more fun.
We just need to get the multiplayer mod for Fallout and just...
Oh my god, I can't wait till they get it to a stable version. It looks great. I mean, playing Fallout 3 co-op would just be the best thing ever.
They were gonna make a Fallout Online, but I guess it fell through.
Interplay, the company that made Fallout 1 and 2, the top-down version, is more of an RPG kind of game.
Yep.
They were going to make Fallout Online, and it was going to be that sort of style game, which to me is a disappointment after playing Fallout 3 in New Vegas so avidly.
I can't. I couldn't play the top-down. Right. It's just, it would just lose the entire experience, I would think. And
But, I guess Bethesda bought all the rights to Fallout, so Interplay can't make that anymore. And I think the reason they were going to do that is because they were going to make a Fallout Online.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, Skyrim was so incredibly successful that they're making Elder Scrolls Online instead, which kind of annoys me, personally.
Yeah, it does.
That's stupid. They're only doing that because they want to make more money, if you ask me. And it looks like it's going to be awful, mostly because of the community. I might play it if the beta's free, just to try it out, but otherwise I don't think I'm even going to bother with it.
Well, I was really surprised with how old the engine is for Fallout and how great it looks on PC.
Dude, you should see. There's some graphics mods for Fallout 3.
I've seen the graphics mods for Fallout 3. They're absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah. I have a couple installed that, there's one that gets rid of that awful green fucking, what is it called, the filter or whatever, that makes everything look all green and horrible. And it just makes the game look so much better.
Well, the reason it's there is it's supposed to show Fallout, but
I can understand that too, and it looks cool. first time
For
playing
a
through
time.
it, but it's a nice change to get rid of that, and I think it looks much prettier.
What do you want for Fallout 4?
Oh, so much. I've heard a few things about it. Apparently, I don't know if this is true or not.
I've
Apparently
heard New York, I've heard Chicago, I've heard Seattle, I've heard everything. I
heard that they're gonna have the Wasteland from Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and then probably something else like LA or Seattle or something.
so it's all going to be put together?
Yeah, you'll be able to kind of travel between
between
wastelands. But apparently, it's going to be set in the future from New Vegas, like 20 years after New Vegas,
God,
and you'll be able to.
Quit going in the future. New Vegas is so far away from the actual war. It's not even Fallout.
It's like 270 years after the war, something
Yes.
like that. Like I'd like to actually play,
3 years after the war.
yeah, when people were actually coming out of the vaults and exploring the wasteland for the first time. That would be interesting to me. I'd like to see, how the world looks.
Or maybe
after
remake Fallout 2 in the same engine as New Vegas and Fallout 3, because Fallout 2 was basically set before anyone went out from what I've heard. It was set before anyone went out of the vault, and you were put out in the vault because your water purifier was going bad, and you had to go to a different vault to get a purifier. So that was the whole thing of the game, I think.
Yeah, from what I've read, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so see, that would even be cool, because I mean, granted, there would be nobody out other than raiders, but you.
Well, I mean, you could go to. Well, yeah, I guess I can see why they wouldn't do it with the new engine, because there would be to fight as raiders, and then you just explore places, and there'd be mutated bugs. But I think that's probably why they're doing it, set further into the future, because there's civilization's kind of rebuilding itself, and you get to explore.
Civilizations and
cities and
friendly
things
people, maybe.
It's cool either way. I still would enjoy seeing the wasteland like early on, after the nukes hit.
Maybe set at the same time as Fallout 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Because Fallout 3 is pretty much what Fallout should be. It's people have got out of the vaults. They're starting to rebuild, but they're not really there yet. Everything's just basically a shanty town, and I think...
what would be interesting? I just totally cut you off there, but, they're saying that it's going to be set in the future of New Vegas, and apparently all your choices from the last two games are going to affect how the game is with Fallout 4. But it would be interesting to see Fallout New Vegas when they were setting it up, right? Because, if you talk to Mr. House, or whatever his name is, I think his name's House...
Yes.
He talks about how he built up New Vegas in the strip. He got the clans of people that had come from all the different vaults around the area and put them to work, building up the strip. It'd be interesting to take part in that, like be in charge of rebuilding everything.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Of course, if they were to make it open-ended, it would totally throw off how New Vegas is.
But let's not do let's stay away from the idea of having the same map, because I think I like the idea of having different maps every game.
I've come to terms with
Kingdom Hearts has done that. Saints Row is doing that now.
Yeah,
it's just
Grand
lazy.
Theft Auto even did it. At least they put work into it though. Like they changed the cities and.
Well, yeah, it was the same city but a different map.
Yeah.
It's just lazy. I don't like. Should do a different map.
It's interesting to me that not a lot of people are actually complaining about Grand Theft Auto 5 being in San Andreas, because from what I'm seeing, they're not changing it very much at all. They're just.
It's huge though.
Yeah,
it's ginormous. It's going to be the size of Liberty City and San Andreas put together, and you know how big San Andreas was.
Yeah.
If you're in a plane, it would take you like 10 minutes to go from one end to the other, and they're going to put these two together, and it's just going to be. It's going to be massive. So
yeah, I guess that's good, but still it's interesting that nobody's going, why don't they just make a new map? But I am interested to see the new San Andreas, because I didn't play the original.
I'm kind of mad it's not coming out on PC right away.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Grand Theft Auto 4, where it came out, it's going to come out like a week or a month later or something like that. And it's not coming out on new consoles either, it's only coming out on the current gen ones, so.
That's probably a good thing.
I can see them losing a lot of money on that though. As a business,
Yeah.
as a business
From,
way,
from
that's
the
not
people
very
that
good.
are upgrading immediately when the PS4 and the Xbox come out, I can understand how they might lose some money. But at the same time, you got to understand that.
They don't want to go out of something that's not been tested. I
Yeah.
understand that.
I mean, I guarantee you
Even
there's going to be
Call
like
of Duty
recalls
is
and
saying
things with the
that.
new consoles.
Yeah,
Over
even Call of
bugs.
Duty is saying that they're not going out of their realm
They
too
did
much, and
when
they're doing.
the PS3 and Xbox 360 came out, though. They were putting Call of Duty and Halo and things like that on the new consoles immediately.
Yeah, as launch titles.
I
Yes.
remember what was it? Call of Duty 3 was put on the new consoles specifically as launch titles so that it would gain hype for the new consoles. Of course, it didn't because everybody thought the game sucked.
Yeah, I don't.
But,
It was my first Call of Duty I actually ever played.
Same here.
But I just played the campaign. I didn't actually play online because my PS2 doesn't have. I didn't have the
honestly
stupid disc to.
I
make
thought the
the
game
online.
was fantastic.
It was pretty good. Yeah,
and I'd like to play it with the newer graphics on console.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't bother playing console anymore. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess we should wrap this up at some point.
Yeah, at some point. 2 long ones in a row, I guess, huh?
Conversation comes too easy at this point.
I guess we're just getting better at it then, huh? Don't have to have questions.
Yeah.
So.
I almost want to go. I mean, I probably don't at all, but I almost want to go back and watch the first one just see how fucking awkward it was.
Dude, I know. Everything's always awkward the first time. It's
at least in that we had Manny, so it was just going to be awkward because he's there, so we could blame most of it on him.
Yeah.
In his fucking weirdness.
How we've evolved from when Manny was here to when he's been gone is just insane. But when he comes back, we'll resume normal.
God damn, I'm excited because the quality of the videos is going to go up with his retardedness, so that's good.
Well, and we haven't played with him since Counter-Strike. I mean, we didn't even play Arma with him. So
I've still got 2 recordings of Counter-Strike. I don't even know if I'm going to bother uploading them because they're just, I get bored with Counter-Strike Global Offensive really fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can play
interested in playing that at this point.
You can play 2 games in 1 month, but it's a good game when it came out. It's just people are so douchey in that game. I think that's what makes it.
Yeah, you gotta if you want to play with a friend, you gotta get lucky enough to find a co-op server. As far as I'm concerned, otherwise you run into those guys that play nothing but Counter-Strike. Spent their entire gaming career playing the original Counter-Strike games. They're playing the new one because it's popular, and they're fucking obsessed with it, so they just destroy.
And how come a game that came out last year doesn't give you the option just to create a server? I mean, come on.
Seriously, there's still... fucking Source is ridiculous.
Source, yes. That's what's the problem.
They have the option, create a server and invite your friends, but it doesn't fucking work. You have to do all this crazy port forwarding, and there's no explanation anywhere as to what ports you need to forward and what fucking programs you have to have running for it to work. It's ridiculous.
There's this one guy in San Antonio that knows how to work it, and he's just like, yeah, you do this, and then you do that, and then you have a server, and everybody's just like, I don't know what this is.
It's as obscure as the config CPP on making a map for Arma 2. You have no idea how hard it was for me to find a fucking tutorial on how to make that. And even then, it didn't make any sense. But that's about how difficult it is to server.
Be like Arma servers. Seriously.
Seriously, all you do is just press a button. I'll make a new server, set it to internet, give it a name and a password if you want, and there you go. People can connect. It's no problem. People
need to take lessons from Bohemia.
Yeah, they do everything right. I mean, Jesus Christ, look at this shit. I mean, look at Arma 3, right? They've found a way to merge the insanely realistic gameplay from Arma 2 with gamey aspects from any other first-person shooter to make it more interesting. I mean, they just keep doing things right.
The only thing I think Arma needs to work on is Arma needs to be better in close quarters combat. Arma does not do close quarters any justice.
Not really.
Not do close quarters.
It's better in Arma 3 with the the what do they call it?
All
the
the
tactical
positions.
movements and
Yeah,
speeds
all
and
the
things like
tactical.
that.
Yeah,
But still, I don't think the guns are
the guns aren't.
the guns
ready
are meant for medium
Yeah.
to long range. It seems like they're not good enough for close quarters, and I feel like the shotguns really leave a lot to be desired.
They need to make power efficiency too, because that game is so demanding.
Oh yeah,
It's not even.
I
it
can't
needs to-
play Arma
yeah.
3. I can play Arma 2 with the settings that I've got. Kind of.
That's the real game changer though. Is it needs to be. You need to have a supercomputer to do it. Because I remember when the alpha was coming out, dude, we were so excited.
I know. I was so excited to play it, and the first day I was like, nope, not happening.
No.
I couldn't get more than like 10 FPS recording on Stratus or Altus, I think it was called. No, it's
Yeah.
Stratus, right? I don't know. Whatever.
It's Stratus.
I think Altus is the new one, which, by the way, is going to be enormous. It's going to be like 270 square kilometers or something.
It's gonna be bigger than that ridiculously sized one that we're playing on.
Yeah, Ilamaram. That thing is retarded. Like, I
think
can't even
it's,
play it in DZS because
I think it's
big.
so retarded because nothing's on it. It's
Yeah,
just this
it
flat,
needs-
open desert. I think that's the problem with it.
It'd be great if I could get the files that it has so I could just go on there and put detail on it, because I think the guys pretty much abandoned it, which is a shame because it is a good map.
Just needs buildings.
Yeah, more towns and buildings and vegetation as well, of course. Even without vegetation, I think it'd be fine because it's meant to be desert. It just needs, like you said, it needs buildings.
It needs buildings. You can tell places where where he wanted to put forests,
areas that he
grass,
wants towns
and stuff like that. Yeah, but
it's
he just
just
never
it's a big project making a map. I can understand why he hasn't
quit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but it would be great to see that one completed.
whoever's making that Chernobyl one for Arma 3, just
that
keep
looks
doing
so.
that looks amazing. I can't wait to.
I hope it doesn't end up like Dead City for Arma 2. The what is it? The Chechen city. Can't remember what it's called.
Is it Emma? Emma.
No. Well, it's like the capital. It's some city in Chechnya, but it's the whole point is that it's supposed to be close quarters, realistic city simulation of Chechnya, but of course the city's totally half-assed, and it's flat terrain with a river running through it, and then the city takes up like a square kilometer of the map, which is like 4 square kilometers. So there's just empty fucking space surrounding the city. There's not even any like background around the city. So when you're in there, you look out in the background and it's just flat space forever. It's
my favorite city map is Emma 1. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not really sure.
Amida?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amida 1.1.
That's a great map, really.
It is.
There's
It
a
is
lot going on, so it's pretty straining on my system, but it's a good map, I think.
We need to do DZS on it whenever you get your new computer, because I think that would be fun.
I got it working when I was playing with Viper, but my FPS was just too low, and it was caused my game to stutter and things like that, so I kind of gave up on it, but when I do get my new computer and I can handle that, I'll definitely be playing on that. We should also do 29 Palms in DZS. That would be fun.
Yes.
That map is huge, and
that would be
there's
fun.
so many buildings and things. Like, that's the only reason it doesn't work. The map runs well, but there's so many buildings that it has to spawn guns in each of those buildings. So it's just, there's too many objects being spawned in. It's laggy.
Especially with zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely horrible with zombies. So, well, I say we should wrap this one up.
We've tried to.
Pretty long.
But,
yeah, tried to about 3 times now. So, so this was the BroCast. I'm Witty, and I got Jake with me.
Yep.
And signing off for the week. We'll see you next week.
We'll have links for the mod of the week, with 2 mods of the week in the description.
How are we gonna do links for Age of Chivalry?
We'll just go on Steam, fuckhead, and then people will do that. So,
all right, guys. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah, thanks for watching. God damn it. So I'd agree with you.
Stuff that
Country that's come out since like 1980 is just garbage.
I like the old country, but the new today's country, it's just too overdramatic.
Well, one minute they're talking about how their girl left, and the next minute they're talking about driving a tractor down the highway. It's,
No, most country music now is about driving a truck and usually there is some sort of dog, or the dog could be a metaphor for their